And we do have dedicated police officers who are scouring social media. Their job is to look for this material and then follow up with identification, arrests and so forth.
This is in relation to some comments that you made on a Facebook page.
You were the witnesses saying, obviously, people, why are they over here, etc., we let them into our country, etc.
A woman has been arrested by Cheshire Police in relation to inaccurate information on social media.
Because someone has been caused, obviously, anxiety based upon your social media post. That's
not his.
Why you've been arrested.
In Russia last year, 400 people were arrested for things that they said on social media. How many people do you think were arrested in Britain for things they said on social media last year? Take a guess.
I have no idea.
3,300.
Really? Arrested for what they'd said on social media?
Yeah.
My goodness.
In Britain.
This is not a law-free zone. And I think that's clear from the prosecutions and sentencing. Today we're due sentencing for online behaviour. That's a reminder to everyone that whether you're directly involved or whether you're remotely involved, you're culpable and you will be put before the courts if you've broken the law. And so that's happening today, that sentencing. I do agree that we're going to have to look more broadly at social media after this disorder, but the focus at the moment has to be on dealing with the disorder and making sure that our communities are safe and secure.
Okay, so as we see a decline in riots and public disorder, we see a slight increase in social stability. And from the introduction, Keir Starmer had some robust language of what he's going to do to the people who were rioting. But that's strange because he doesn't have that same robust language when it comes to knife crime, when it comes to thugs snatching phones on the streets of London and even outside London. When it comes to illegal immigration, when it comes to holding the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, accountable for such an incompetent job that he's done for these past couple of years in London, he has no robust language for woke ideologies being pushed in schools to little kids, and cancel culture that has been running rampant in the United Kingdom, whereby you get police coming to your door, knocking on your door, and saying, what was that you posted on Facebook? What was that you posted on Instagram? You are arrested and you must face criminal charges for online activity. Basically, these points I've mentioned are a combination of elements that have been building up slowly for these past couple of years that have got us to this boiling pot in which we're in now, and we see riots, we see protests, we see social dissent, we see tensions between different people, different ethnicities, different races, religion, etc. On top of that, illegal immigrants that are coming into the United Kingdom, not assimilating with British culture, bringing their culture, and some, not all illegal immigrants, causing havoc on the streets of London. And then on top of that, just to top it off, you know, they are being housed by taxpayers' money. That's what makes it even more worse. And if the government just tackled any of the things that I said, then we probably wouldn't be in this mess right now. And different kinds of people, race, religion, ethnicities, etc. would be living in a state of cohesion, and they wouldn't be divided as we see on the streets of London today. I want to play this bit from what you just saw in the beginning very quickly, and I'm going to analyse it after.
I do agree that we're going to have to look more broadly at social media after this disorder, but the focus at the moment has to be on dealing with the disorder and making sure that our communities are safe and secure.
He said, I do agree that we'd have to look more broadly into social media after this disorder. In other words, what Keir Starmer means and the woke Labour Party is that we are cracking down on freedom of speech. Anything and everything you say is being monitored, and we could possibly be at your door if you say things that we class as hate speech or speech that we don't believe should be on the internet. In other words, he's using this disorder as an excuse to go and start clamping down on what people have to say online. You know, we saw it. You know, at the beginning, in the preview introduction to this video, we saw how government men, police officers come to your door for something that you posted online. And I believe that statistics will surge when he puts this ban on free speech into motion after this disorder. Essentially, what the woke government is doing is killing freedom of expression, and I believe that everyone should express themselves in any which way they feel they need to, so far they're not causing harm to others. And that's what propels you to a more healthy society where people can come together and they can bring ideas, and you know, they can argue amongst those ideas and reach a solution or reach a particular outcome that makes sense. You know, this is what makes the world a better place. People coming together with ideas. We see it in business, we see it in politics, we see it in religious debates and all other kinds of debates. You know, when people are coming together, bringing ideas, talking, then we get to see as the people what makes the most sense, and we can go with that idea at the time. But when you take away people's freedom of expression, essentially what you are doing is building up a slow communist culture in society where people feel scared to talk online, they feel scared to express themselves, they feel scared to say what they truly think outside, because they feel that with one slip of the tongue, it could be curtains for them, and police could be at their workplace, house, etc. This is not a joke, this is no exaggeration, you know, to arrest them. So, you know, people would be fearful for what they say and express, and therefore your right to freedom of speech is eliminated. What that does in the long term, if you ask me, is creates a culture whereby people bottle things up, and you can see more rebellion later on down the line. You have to remember, when people have had enough, they've simply just had enough and they will rebel. I want to show you this other clip and then I'll analyze again.
Would it be helpful if people like Elon Musk were more mindful of who they let on their platforms, if he was more mindful of what he actually posts?
So what the woke interviewer means here is that Elon Musk needs to start administering censorship on his platform. I believe that Elon Musk took over the platform because he believed that when it was Twitter, the Twitter boss was censoring too many people, kicking people off the platform for saying certain things. So he was like, hang on, what's going on here? Twitter, everyone likes Twitter. People should say whatever they want to say without fear of being cancelled. And this is why he put a bid in to take over Twitter. Well, now he calls it X. You know, because he said freedom of speech should prevail. And now what she's saying is she'd want to see, you know, Elon Musk carry out the same policy that the old Twitter boss carried out, which was to cancel people on the platform that don't say or parrot what the establishment want them to. And I'd say that this is one of the main reasons why I left the left, because there was no freedom of debate. There was no, listen to that person, you have your views, that person have their views, come together and let's just talk, let's try and find some common ground, let's try and see what ideas work, what don't work, what's been proven to work in the past, etc. But with the left, it's just, we don't like what you have to say, so you need to be off the platform. Sorry, you need to be gone. You know, and we see with the left today. I was even reading an article in the news today, and it was basically saying how they're trying to make the word DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, a slur. So you shouldn't be using DEI when you are addressing people. I believe this is because of Kamala Harris right now in America. So they're trying to make the word DEI a slur.
Whenever you hear DEI, I want you to think about the N-word. I want you to think about racial slurs. That's what they actually mean.
So this is the direction that the so-called progressives are moving into, you know, and this is again why I left the left, because there's no freedom of dialogue or coming to the table and saying what, you know, you want to say. It's just, you know, these are my views, you must accept them. You know, you must call me a whatever I want to identify as. If you don't, you need to be deplatformed, you need to be gone. I don't want to see you, shouldn't have a job, you shouldn't have anything, you know, and that's just some next level entitlement, if you ask me. So yeah, and this is what this woman's saying. You know, she's just saying, you know, Elon Musk should be mindful of who he lets on his platform. What that means is get rid of a bunch of people we tell you to, and you also be mindful. You're telling a man worth 230 billion that you need to be mindful of what you say on your own platform that you've brought with your money. Oh man, the level of entitlement is just crazy. Just before I wrap this video up very quickly, back in 2011 when there was disorder on the streets of London and we saw London riots, you know, Keir Starmer didn't have these kinds of harsh words to say about the people who were going out wrecking their communities. Yes, a lot of them got arrested, etc., but he was quite sympathetic, if you ask me, in the 2011 disorder that happened on the streets of London. Then, 10 years later, after the George Floyd incident, he takes the knee. And of course, as you remember from them protests, you know, Antifa and Black Lives Matter was wrecking up the whole Western society. This was happening in the States. It started off in the States, and when, you know, it cut through the whole of Western society, and obviously we know in the UK, whereby in Bristol they toppled the statue of Edward Colston, etc., and they were just vandalizing their communities, and one of the Black Lives Matter workers actually stole a lot of money, I believe tens of thousands of pounds, and when she went to court she was only ordered to repay back £1. Just the pound she had to pay back. You know, and she stole tens of thousands of pounds, and we saw that destroy and wreck communities in the West. Now, to conclude quickly, Keir Starmer needs to focus more on crime in London, you know, administer more harsher sentence to people carrying knives, using knives, you know, don't just let them out with a little bit of probation or a little tag. Come on, you know, people are dying on the streets of, you know, London and in and around England. You know, people are not scared to take a knife and use it. You know, you need to put the fear factor in them. You know, phones are being snatched. You need to do something about that. You know, illegal immigration is through the roof. You know, Keir Starmer wants to give them a fast track to citizenship. How is that going to improve relations when a lot of the ones coming in right now are not assimilating to British culture? So you bringing more over, fast tracking them to citizenship. How is that helping the morale in the country? Someone please tell me, because I'll never understand. Hold Sadiq Khan accountable for the incompetent job that he's been doing in and around London for these past couple of years, you know, behind on housing targets, you know, crime is going insane, and well, knife crime, and he has not much to say about it. He just says that, oh, I feel scared for my life. You feel scared for your life. You're on a huge wage. What about the rest of us here that are just, you know, working people? How should we feel? We should just accept this in our communities and that's it. Come on. So to conclude, he should hold the relevant people accountable and do something about these elements that have been building up slowly for these past couple of years that have got us to this boiling point in which we're in now. And I believe if he can do something about that, then things can start to, you know, we can start to move in a better direction, you know, moving forward, you know, with this Labour government. But I guess only time will tell. So yeah. But anyway, guys, comment down below on your thoughts, what you think about this cancellation of free speech. Comment, like, share the video. I'll catch you at the next video. Peace.